Hello everyone, Sanbonani, what up? Namaste, my people. So I was inspired by a conversation between David Icke and Brian Rose. They were on London Real TV. That's real with an REAL. And also motivated by my friend Koveshni. Prior to lockdown, she told me, hey, give it a shot. Put your videos, like the ones you put on your WhatsApp status, onto social media. And to be real, I was still quite in a place where I wasn't yet ready to let myself be out there. I still had my own insecurities. I was working on them, but they were still there. The talk yesterday that David Icke gave, Brian Rose contributed greatly to it. It opened my mind and heart a bit more. These concepts are not new to me, but the more and more we engage in them, the more free you feel. So I thought, what the hell? I had posted up a series of videos, statuses on my WhatsApp of me speaking about things that I felt like engaging with my contacts about. And those led to some questions. I got some notes here. So I thought, why not take the questions to a bigger platform? Why not just speak with everybody? I don't have a lot of my friends from high school and so on WhatsApp because they're married, they've got their own lives, we can't all chat. But we could have this virtual chat, you know? I'm safely here not giving you the disease and you're there not giving me the disease. Let's just talk, let's open up. And before I start getting too deep into it, y'all, some of y'all know me. In fact, I made this more for the people who do know me, because I know that they'll engage in this, and then some of them will contact me and we'll let this spread like wildfire, you know. But for the strangers that listen in, thank you. I believe I'm consciousness. That is why, like if you're watching this on Instagram, you see my name is Consciousness as Tamlin S. I've tried to move away from feeling like I'm Tamlin first. I had a lot of drama with Tamlin, mostly because I couldn't accept her as she was. There were times when, although I would act like I love her, I deeply hated her or resented her for being who she is. And slowly and steadily I got out of that place, and now I just see her as the vehicle. So she's like the Picanto that is carrying consciousness. It's like how no one really cares about the vehicle that's bringing Rihanna to the concert. I mean, somebody may say, yo, that is a beautiful Bentley, or that is an Escalade like you wouldn't believe. But they wanna see Rihanna perform, right? That's the same kind of concept here. We're focusing so much on this name, this identity we have, like I'm Tamlin Samuel, this is me, I'm 29 years old, I'm an Indian, South African, it's important for me to say like my heritage is from India, that kind of things, or I don't even know what heritage I have, you know? No one's validated it for me. I have to go according to the word of others. And that's what I'm trying to bring across to people that I speak to. That we hold such certain information to be so supreme in our lives, yet we have no way of validating it. But look around you. Like, I hope you can see the outside of there. No, you can't. But if you could look around you, in fact, you know what, for the effort of this, I'm going to pause this video and go and say what I mean. I want you guys to look around you and see that there is evidence of everything that we are all around us. Just give me a second. See, there we go. Look around us. hope you took the time to look around you. Now, whether you get to live in a building like me that's a little higher up, so you get to see things slightly differently, whether you live somewhere where all you can see is just the next home right next to you, that's all part of one consciousness. That's the beauty of it. I'll tell you a personal thing. My dream is not to live in a building. I have grown up in a flat basically all my life, and funny enough, when I had the opportunity to leave downtown Pietermaritzburg where I grew up and go and live in a house that had a really lovely big garden, I resisted it. The one thing that I wanted to go and live with a dog and so on. And I was quite grown. I was in matric. I was like 17 or 16 years old. But I resisted it because I had felt so comfortable in where I was. My friends were there, my people, you know. And I feel like all of these things are going to tie up to how I feel like we're about to change. We're about to grow. So before I get into the questions that I wanted to answer, they were posed to me by people who know me. Some know me very intimately. Others know me a little well, I would say, well enough to have me on WhatsApp. I want to start off by something that Brian Rose said during the interview with David Icke. And Brian Rose is the presenter of London Real. He said, "We believe that individual transformation can change the world. Join us." We believe that individual transformation can change the world. And that's a theme that keeps popping up a lot. And I just want to facilitate it, reinforce it, be there to share my experiences with you guys so you feel more comfortable with, because it's a really uncomfortable process. You could almost say it sucks. You know, you have to do that. I don't know if you guys can see that there. You have to do affirmations daily. You have to have a mantra that you believe in, that you live by. Your mantra doesn't have to be, and don't confuse the word mantra with having to be like, I'm a Christian, I can't have a mantra, or I'm a Muslim observing Ramadan, I can't have. No, a mantra is just the name for it, but what it basically is, it's an affirmation, it's a belief that you affirm for you. And you do it often, with intention, and that intent creates something. I'm going to share mine with you. Mine says, I am the earth, the water, the fire, the air. I am the galaxies above and below. I am godly. I pause there because I know that I have a lot of people who are strongly religious, and I want to just explain to you, don't let language trick you. I am godly doesn't mean that I believe I am the supreme in everything. I am godly means that I totally believe and know that I'm part of the image of it. And the image of God is not like how we look. It's the consciousness, it's the soul, it's the energy. So anyway, I am godly, aligned to nature, the animal spirits, the ancient wisdom, and the natural ways. I am open to all information these fields contain. Okay? So yeah, if you guys ever message me privately, if you ever want to hear that again, or help create your own one. If you do decide to contact me privately and you don't have me on WhatsApp, please use a phrase like, hi, go get straight to the point. Don't focus on how I am and so on. I'm going to have days when I'm good. I'm going to have days when I'm bad. I'm accepting of that. But if you really want to communicate with me, then just be open there in that message. Don't be guarded. I mean, you can be guarded, but the reason why I'm saying don't be is because I would probably ignore you. I do ignore messages that are just like, hey, hello, hey, how are you? But when somebody opens up to me, like recently I had a high school friend. He opened up to me. I hadn't seen him in years. I only remembered when speaking to him that I had forgot his real name and only called him by like his like nickname, his like pseudonym. And I love pseudonyms. I think that comes from hip hop, that I love the fact that we can break out of that identity. You know, one of these people that I met, the Spartans crew, a lot of them had their own pseudonyms, you know, this and that, and they still go by it. It's beautiful. So back to my high school friend. So I was speaking to him. We were speaking about, you know, the usual things that humans like to talk about and share with love, tragedies, experience. And he said he remembered me as having been a prefect. We were speaking about cannabis, right? Smoking and so on. And he said to me that he remembered getting caught in high school, smoking weed in school. Like, come on, you know you can't do that. I wouldn't say that to me it's wrong, but I would say that I'm glad that I had to experience certain controlled places like school. Today, school doesn't mean anything to me because of what I've learned. It's actually the people I've met. I think it's so healthy. I see this in my niece because she's the first grandchild of her, you know, generation, and I see how lonely it is to not be able to grow amongst people who are in your space. And I understand the brilliance of school in that regard, that you're able to grow with people who are sort of in a similar place in terms of their growth, you know. Yeah, we all are like, some people were like way ahead of me. They knew the polynomials in high school and I knew jack shit. But we were still at that point where we had not experienced certain things. You know, we were all still growing and learning about it. If I was feeling uncomfortable, I knew that there were certain people around me that were. And when I was feeling enthusiastic, I knew that there'd be people who'd share that enthusiasm. That's collective consciousness, you know? So anyway, this friend told me about how he had been caught at school for smoking weed. And the teacher told me to take him to the office, and I didn't. And he asked me, do you remember that? And I'm like, no, I don't. It reminded me of how we're just expressions of consciousness, and people interpret us and remember us in so many different ways. You know? To me, my idea was that I was like a pretentious, fake, bad girl trying to be a goody two-shoes because I just wanted to be accepted so badly. You know, I wanted to do like I had intentions of doing bad girl things. I was like a naughty, wild-ass Cardi B inside, you know. But I wanted to be accepted by my teachers. I wanted them to think I was responsible, you know. So my point of sharing that was that I want you guys to be more open to the fact that you could be perceived by people in so many different ways. I want you to drop the need to control how you are perceived. Open up. I'm not saying go and create videos like this, or I have always liked to sing. I don't know if I can or can't sing. Well, I know that I can sing because basically you can do anything. It's just that people rate what you do, you know, based on others, I don't feel like I could sing like Jennifer Hudson can, but I can sing the next two lines to you. do what you want and be who you want to. 'Cause people are assholes and they'll try to judge you. But guess what? We're all assholes, 'cause deep down we all care too. I don't know if that was singing. Somebody can make a meme of it, you know? It's dope, because then at least 5 people will come to the original video and then they'll see something. By the way, that was not a suggestion for y'all to go ahead and make a meme, like on the real, but I'm opening up myself to everything, to ridicule, to criticism, to acceptance and love. In fact, I've already felt those things by so many people, but nothing keeps it strong when you love and accept yourself first. So the theme here is that we're going to start changing the world by loving and accepting ourselves first. We may not all do the same practices. You may not care about chakras. You may have totally ignored my pleas at you to try turmeric. And so don't let fluoride calcify your pineal gland. You may have heard me say it to you, and I don't care whether you follow it or not. And it's not that I don't care because I don't care about you. I don't care what you do. What you do doesn't, I used to hate people who abuse children. I used to strongly hate them, until I matured enough to realize that that's exactly why people do abuse people, because they felt hatred. And when you feel hatred, you feel like that's all you deserve. When you feel a lack of acceptance, that's what you think you are. I'm sorry if my tears make you awkward. It really makes me a bit awkward sometimes, but it's the truth though. I have known what it's like to hate on yourself, perceive everything as what other people say, even if it was genuine criticism. Somebody would tell you, Tamlin, you're just too stubborn, and then because you're not sure of yourself, you wouldn't take it as this person is trying to share with me. You would take it as this person hates me because I'm a piece of shit, So I'm trying to reinforce with as many people as I can, whoever this message goes through. Even if only one views this message, I've already viewed it and affirmed it for me. And so it means everything, So anyway, we're going to move on. So in my statuses, I speak about things, and my WhatsApp contacts, those that are really open, brave enough, I call them cool because that's cool to me. They open up and they talk to me. They ask me things and they get real with me, because I can be quite dramatic and, boom in your face on WhatsApp. Because, it's a bit of a more controlled environment. Those are my peoples. I am of the belief that every single person you meet, everyone, whether you term the experience with them as good or bad, you were destined to. It's a divine destiny that you met them. So, I don't even know where to look anymore. It's really confusing. I don't know how you'll do these video things. But yeah, anyway, so it's your divine destiny to meet them. So I think it's your divine destiny to have come this far in this video even. So I'm going to start with the question, and then just to give those people who are not on my WhatsApp a broad understanding of how did the question come about. So, okay, question 1 is a bit more easier and a bit more vague. I'm going to go into question 2, come to question 1. So one person said to me, you talk about one consciousness and us being one. Sharing pics of the dark-skinned woman comes across as if you are biased and believe blackness to be superior. I liked this question because it opens up our minds to so many different avenues of looking at this question. Thank you to the person who posted it. Okay, so what I had shared was a picture of a woman called Nyakim. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right. I think she's Sudanese. She's got beautiful dark skin. So I did post this on my Instagram as well, a picture of her on, I think it was Freedom Day. But on my WhatsApp, I had posted up more and more pictures of her, like, you know, that I felt were like sexy, attractive, gorgeous. I even told them about how I had been talking with my sister and I had forgot this lady's name, but this is the woman that I wanted to say, like, you know how people have a mold of what they think is beautiful? This is my mold. Like, I likened her to Kim Kardashian, like how a lot of people look at Kim K W and because I like Kanye West, you know. Anyway, so the way that people like look at Kim Kardashian West and see her as a depiction of beauty, that's how I felt about Nya Kim, but I couldn't name her before because I forgot her name. You know, I didn't take that notice of her as that. I just took a notice of her as like an expression of consciousness that I felt was beautiful. So anyway, I was sharing this on my WhatsApp and whatever, and then a person posted this question to me a couple of days later. And I thought, like, you know, I wanted to get into this on a WhatsApp status, and now I've been brave enough to go even further. So, okay. I can understand why somebody would say this, and I like it because it means that you're going in depth into what one consciousness is. And the truth is that one consciousness is not about the color of your skin or your name, which city you come from, there's so many things that, you know. But one consciousness is all of that. Despite anything that you are, whether you're from a war-torn Yemen or first world New York, you're part of one consciousness. Whether you're a pedophile who preys on young boys in a church, or whether you're Credo Mutwa, you're one consciousness. Whether you're Tamlin, who had her own demons, or whether you're Neo, aka the One, you're one consciousness. You know what I mean? So, my reasons for sharing Nya Kim is deeper than just her looks and me liking dark skin. If you had, in fact, I had actively trained my mind to like dark skin because I had first hated my skin. I don't know, I think that I would be classified as a light-skinned person to people in the Indian community and African indigenous people. But if I stand next to a person with a lack of melanin that is African, what they call albino, I would not be light-skinned to me. So I felt like we're all light-skinned or dark-skinned relative to what we're being compared to. Otherwise, we're all just skinned. No, not skinned like they removed our skin. Skinned like we all have skin. We're all just skin and bones and flesh and organs and so on. But when you're compared to something or you compare yourself to something, you create that identity. So when I was a young girl, I'm actually the darker skinned of three of my two biological sisters. I am the darkest of them all. That's like, when I tell people that, people are like, whoa, I never thought you thought yourself as dark skinned. Exactly, because you perceived me. You didn't know how I perceived myself. So growing up as a South African Indian, You all know, a lot of y'all know this. You don't have to be Indian to know this, because like maybe you live in Northdale. That's an area in Pietermaritzburg where it was predominantly for Indians, but now many people live there, you know. Colored people. Oh, sorry to anybody watching this internationally. I hope it reaches international status. In South Africa, colored is not a derogatory term. In fact, I like colored. Colored means I got a lot of different color in me. And I like that. That's spice. And I'm Indian by nature. I'm spicy. So I had felt like, God damn, I was ugly. Like, you know, I was dark. Like, I would like listen to my granny when they tell you, go scrub those elbows and those knees. Your knees are so black. You know, you all know that way. Like, it's not like now you can say black is beauty, you know, black girl magic. But somebody else could tell you like, ooh, so black under your eyes. And you'll feel like, I should be ashamed of that. Anyway, okay, so I realized through my journey that, okay, you know what, this is the way that beauty is perceived by the people that were around me. You know, like you'd hear it. And I mean, I don't hold it against them. I understand they had also been brainwashed. You hear it, oh, the baby's so fair, white baby, you know? And then you feel like, so if I was the black baby, the dark-skinned baby, was I ugly? You know? But that's also because we got to work on that journey. We got to be true to ourselves, and it's a hard journey to be true to yourself and say, well, what do I perceive as beauty? I know what this person is saying, but what do I feel is beautiful? So the reason why I share black-skinned people, and I do my best to promote the greatness of African indigenous people, is because it's a narrative you already know. The people around us here in Africa are predominantly African indigenous people. Yay, thankfully, unlike North America, where tragically most of the indigenous people were killed off, or like they call them Native Americans. You guys would know them, Cherokees and so on. A lot of people love that culture. You all see FREEly wearing those, you know, those little things, and you're like, it's all that oneness with nature, that feistiness of, that like peaceful feistiness of the Native American. It's very like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's very like, you know, they have that hair that drops down, like similar to mine, that Pocahontas vibe. People like that. But the truth was, they were indigenous to a land and they were killed off it. Same with Aboriginal people in Australia. So many of them. My aunt and uncle relayed to me once a story of when they went touring Europe, and they were in a group of tourists, and one of the women in their group was an Australian woman who asked them how do they handle the indigenous people of Africa. And so they answered honestly. They said, well, they're like, you know, people like in South Africa, it's fine. Like, we got all types of people in South Africa, you know, like predominantly everywhere you go, you see African people, what people term black people, you know. And I mean, even those who are supposedly not indigenous, like myself, a person of Indian descent, who has no actual connection to India except a heritage that had been given to me. My connection was with this land. Take it as being a black person. One of my friends told me that you have to know about where you came from, though, because genetically it can help you. And I said, not really. Because even if I have this nose because I was supposed to be in north or south or whatever India, and I was supposed to this, when it's cold, then having this elongated nose helps you like not get brain freeze. And there's so many theories of why we have these different physical features that we all have. The long hair helps protect your cerebral cortex. I'm saying all of this because people can educate me, correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently, because you would be in a colder place. I get that, because flip, the way my hair grows on my body, it's like my body don't know that I'm in Africa. I want to tell my body, listen, can't you make me like Nompi or Nonku with its clear, smooth skin? Like, I don't need this hair growing on my body. So I get that genetically we were meant to be a certain way for where we were on the planet. So I did not lose my train of thought. So anyway, yes. So I was saying to you guys that how we would perceive ourselves would be according to like the information we had been given. And I realized that predominantly around us, I was telling you all about what did that lady say to them. So that lady had asked them about, how were the people that were the indigenous people of South Africa. And they said to her, well, what they told me was, they said to her that, the people of our land are fine. The indigenous people are like all other people, really, like the so-called foreigners, like the people who traveled to this land, that were not born of this land. And she said to them that luckily for them in Australia, they had bred out all the Aboriginal people. The time when I heard this, I was a little more immature. I was still at that point where, like how I said, that hatred for pedophiles and for people who abuse other, children especially. Now I see that lady is misled. And that it's kind of sad, because if you don't open up to this possibility, this of connecting with everything, you kind of live a half-life, And it hurt me when she said that, because when you look at people and they look like you, I don't mean like in their physical traits. Like sometimes you look at like those why those pictures of starving children really like get at you? It's because like sometimes you see this glistening in their eyes, and you relate to that. Maybe you remember a time when you were desperately hungry. Maybe you've never ever been desperately hungry, but you remember a time when you yearned for something. And it's kind of like what appeals to your soul. So I listened to this, and I'd never forgotten that. They had told me that years ago, like I'm sure it's over 3 years ago, but I'd never forgotten that people indigenous to a land were bred out, killed. If you know anything about the slave history in America, you'd know that one of the acts they did was to try and breed out African people that looked African. You could tell that, there's a lot of new information and theories. I can't get into it, but there is information